Hey everyone, welcome back to New Wave Media's podcast. My name is George, and I'm here with our co-host Elijah Lundgren.
What's up, George?
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
It's going good.
Very nice. So it looks like we have a different setup today. We're trying a couple of new things here at the studio. Finally,
yeah, and we're getting things set up.
The last podcast we had the studio space, but it was pretty much empty.
Yeah.
We've been filling it in with a bunch of goodies. Trying to build sets. We've got modifiers, lights. We've got it pretty much everything.
Pretty dialed.
Pretty dialed in.
Yeah.
I think we just need to really dial in the even more details, like hanging things up, putting things, where they need to go. Because right now things are kind of spread out.
Yeah.
But I think we will get there when we get there. But actually, we need to do that soon.
Well, I mean, I think we're moving at a pretty decent pace, right? Like we started with our stuff. Mm-hmm. We got our office set up here so that we could work here as our home base.
Exactly.
And then we started bringing gear in
mm-hmm.
so that we could start to do things here creatively. And then we started bringing in furniture and we have the makeup stations and the vanities in the other room, mm-hmm.
which
we need to dial that in.
We have to dial that in, especially the outlets.
Yeah.
The outlets need to be dialed in where we want them to go and whatnot. So
yeah. We have to decide whether we want to hang up the mirrors or if we want to keep them where they're at. Or you guys don't know what we're talking about because you haven't seen it, but
you guys have not seen it.
We are trying to figure out kind of some of those details, but
and really quick, this wall, maybe on this third camera, this wall here, we just put it up yesterday. We painted the wall underneath green, put up the green foliage, and put up the neon sign.
Yeah, and I am loving how it's looking.
It's looking great.
It's looking great. I'm excited to kind of add to it and fill it in and make it, a little bit more unique, make it a little bit more like just ours. But mm-hmm. I love it right now. I love how it's come out so far.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I would like to talk about, I know this is kind of going off topic. We need to find out some weights for that.
Yeah.
Because we've 2 weeks until soft opening.
Right. Well, we should probably tell the viewers what we're talking about.
Yeah. So we've put up a backdrop up against the wall that has, they're on chains and you can just roll them down. And we want to put weights on them so that the paper comes down naturally. But we're also talking about having this done by the soft opening date, which is hopefully July 30th. We haven't made a real announcement. So this is kind of like the real announcement, but not really. We just have to figure out where we're at within the next week. Yeah. And then announce it a week before.
Yeah, this is kind of a crunch week for us, right? We've got a lot of sorry, I just need to get comfortable, We've got a lot of work to do still. It's freaking crazy because it feels like we just haven't stopped.
Yeah, go.
It's been go all, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, sometimes Sunday, we've got weddings, and then it's back to go Monday through Friday.
Man. It's been rough week.
Yeah, but it's good.
It's great.
Good. Bro, you have paint on your knee.
Still?
Yeah.
I showered this morning.
Well, didn't scrub.
Shower that good.
Didn't scrub very good.
I just kind of rinsed my body, I guess, with soap and water.
Yeah. But, it's just, it's like a kind of an endless grind. Like today we're talking about, we got to go out and look for some chairs, some furniture.
For the makeup station?
For the makeup stations. We still have things to hang, things to organize, things to figure out. We still need to write down processes and there's so much we still have to finish the website, which we have made significant progress on that website.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Here's kind of the biggest things we need to get done. Apart from organizing and putting shit where it needs to go, that's just kind of already here. We don't need to worry about that. But the biggest things we need to worry about right now are getting a couple of more things furniture-wise.
Yeah.
So it takes time to go look for the right things. And I'm not just going to spend money just because we need the chairs. I want to find something that'll go with the studio.
Right.
But also is pretty affordable. We're on a budget here. If we want to make this work, mm-hmm. the budget that we have, I don't want to go over it.
Right.
Now, we can go over it, but it's just not...
It's not ideal.
It's not ideal to do that.
Right.
We also have a standing a backdrop that's movable coming in by Sunday. So we'll have that in on Sunday. So we have the roller aluminum things that go inside.
That's right. We have the ability to have a rolling backdrop.
And then we'll have a rolling backdrop. And then I want to get backdrop holders. So like you stand them up on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Those are kind of the bigger ticket items, I would say. Either they're coming in or we need to go get. And then I think we need to probably get something so that we could use on this open space here. Now, we don't have to do it or build it. I think what we need to do is like figure out what we're going to put there so when the time comes.
Oh, you're talking about this doorway?
Yeah, because originally we wanted to put a barn door there.
Yeah.
And I think it's still doable, but...
Yeah, but it also might be too much.
Just because I was realizing like it's probably going to be heavy and that little wood won't hold it.
Yeah, it's not super stable. And like we're also like, okay, so the left side, well, it's on our left, it's on my left right now. The left side there is where the makeup stations and stuff are. And that side is curtained off. We have like blackout curtains basically on that side so that there's some privacy if it's needed. And then the right side's going to be walled off. And so I think if we close this off too, that middle section there is just going to be real like weird and claustrophobic, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I think we'll figure something out, or we won't. I mean, maybe once we've got the wall up around the office space and we're all set up over there, maybe at that point we won't feel that this needs to be closed off quite as much.
Very true, and it also makes sense that if we have a movable backdrop, we can always just put it there too.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see when we get there. Another thing that the people may not know, actually nobody really knows.
Nobody knows anything.
So we have one of our good friends coming in at the end of August to put up a psych wall. And I'm really looking forward to that. So right now, we can get as much done as we can until that psych wall is built.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of like when we'll see. Oh, because that'll also be the time when we put a wall up into our office space.
This guy's coming to do kind of all of the actual construction stuff that we need done. Right? Yeah. So that's going to be a big change, and we'll be open already once that starts. So we should have had some bookings by then, and some people will have been in here and used the space. But speaking of people being in here using the space, we had a freaking busy week last week.
We sure did.
So we put out a model call, like an open model call on Instagram, both of our personal Instagrams and on our studio or our New Wave Media Instagram.
And the studio one. No, the studio
one wasn't there yet.
Wasn't there yet.
So, and we got an insane amount of response. We booked up pretty much all of the time slots that we had available within a few hours.
We had to say no to quite a few people.
And there was, I feel bad because there was some people we weren't even able to really get back to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of sucks, but sorry, it's been so crazy around here. But
I think, well, I was going to say, I'm going to let you talk. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think, if there's anybody out there that's listening that we didn't get back to, like, all of our DMs are getting buried. So it's like, I've never really experienced that, which is super cool.
The only thing we can say, sorry about that. Nothing personal, our bad.
But at the end of the day, I think like you went to a wedding on Saturday or a Sunday, something like that.
Last week.
I know what happened. We booked a shoot, actually we did like 3 or 4 shoots on Thursday.
Yeah, we did 3 on Thursday.
You went to a wedding Friday.
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. What did we do
I went
Friday?
to Seattle on Friday.
Oh, you went to Seattle
a wedding on
Friday.
Saturday in Seattle.
I think I was at the studio working.
Yeah, you were here Friday. You didn't shoot though. You didn't shoot on Friday. You just did some stuff.
I did some stuff around here. Yep.
Saturday you had a wedding, and then Sunday you shot what?
I had like 4 people.
Yeah, you shot a couple people before I came home.
I think 4 or 5 total, and you were here for like 2 of them or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And man, already that's like almost 10 people that came through here in the last 2 days.
And then Monday alone, we had like 6 or 7 more.
Yeah.
So we were shooting from 9 a.m. until 5 o'clock, 9 to 5 on Friday, 8 hours straight on Monday.
And we did video, which is, so here's kind of where we're struggling, or at least I'm struggling, is not only do we have like 15 shoots, almost 20 shoots under our belts to like get these pictures back to them.
Yeah.
But we also have video for most of them.
Right.
I'd say like 80% of them.
Almost all of them, yeah.
Have video of some sort. And I haven't even looked through them. We're just so busy and behind in this. But
well, and I guess just to roll it back just a little bit, to give a little bit of context, like this model call was free photo shoots from George and I in the space. And the entire point of doing this was because I was working on the website and I got to this point where I was like, well, I'm just putting the same pictures of an empty room on every page, and this isn't enough.
Yeah.
And so we did this model call to get content to put on the website, but also to get content to launch the social media account for the studio, which we did. We changed, so we started an Instagram page and a Facebook page for New Wave Studio. Instagram is at New Wave Studio PDX, and so is Facebook. Both of them are at New Wave Studio PDX.
And actually the TikTok as well.
And TikTok, yes.
New Wave Studio
Yeah, well,
PDX.
we changed the New Wave Media TikTok to New Wave Studio PDX. And then we changed the New Wave Media Instagram to New Wave Media PDX so that it was cohesive.
Correct.
So those new links will be in the description, both on the audio podcast and on the YouTube page. We will update those in the descriptions. But yeah, we're just kind of trying to like dial in this branding and get things a little bit more on point. But we launched the New Wave Studios Instagram.
Correct.
And it's rolling.
It's been getting some buzz. I mean, we don't have like hundreds of followers yet or anything.
In the first week, we got 110.
Yeah, it's only been about a week, huh?
In about a week. And
we have 110 people, and a lot of those people have DM'd us, and they're like, "Oh, we're so excited to see this space.
Yeah.
You know, can't wait to check it out."
Tons of responses. We've been all over the stories, and we've been posting every day since we opened that account.
Exactly.
And
which remind me to post a reel today.
Yeah, we're gonna put together a reel for a model that came through named she goes by Siggy.
And that photo shoot was
her shoot was crazy,
so good.
We posted a shot that George took from that shoot yesterday, and it was the first time we used our fog machine.
Yeah,
and it was during the part of the day where we get kind of direct sun over the building behind us or across the street from us, and the rays that were coming in through that smoke. Oh my God, man, that was.
There's more photos.
Shoot.
Like the one that I got or that I posted on there yesterday. I really, really dig that shot, but I know there's more photos with even more fog.
Yeah,
and more.
There was just so much gold out of that.
The video,
shoot.
I'm looking forward to even. I haven't even looked through the video.
Yeah, you haven't even seen the clips.
So like, I'm excited. You know, we're gonna put something together, put a reel, and the goal is to have picture, reel, picture.
Eventually,
Eventually, so that the whole Instagram is cohesive and it just looks, you know.
We want the Instagram page to really kind of match the same vibe that our space does.
Exactly.
So we want you to feel like when you go to our Instagram, you're walking into our studio.
I also want to feature other artists. Like, I don't want to just post our stuff because eventually we're not going to be shooting in here as often because the space is going to be used by others. So like, I would like to incorporate their stuff, repost, you know, feature artists that come here and whatnot. But man, that shoot was one of my favorites. At a studio, especially our studio, I've never had the chance to like really get creative like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a ton of fun.
And the thing is, she said, I was like, she asked us how long we've been photographing for.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we told her, and then
actually a lot of people throughout that process asked us, "Hey, how long have you guys been doing this?"
Yeah. And so then I asked her, I was like, "How long have you been modeling for?" In my head is because like she was doing such a great job.
Yeah, she was
job.
Taking really good direction, and she was just doing a great job.
And she was like, "Oh, I don't."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like I'm an actor, not really a model. Like I've modeled before, but
she literally said, "I don't."
And then I was like, "What? Like you're really good at this. Like you take direction really well." she, even when she doesn't get direction, she was doing what most photographers would like a model to do, is just to kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, keep moving,
keep doing your thing. And it was great. I had a great time.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites out of all the ones we've done in this space. It was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. So anyways, there's more coming to the studio. I do want to put together at least one more model call, at least for like 1 or 2 models, just to shoot in film.
Yeah.
Strictly film, so that we can also showcase what we're capable of doing with film with the lighting that we have. Because that's a big part of the studio is continuous lighting, modifying the lights, using professional strobe lights, and it's what am I trying to say? We're trying to get everybody
able to use the continuous light for film. So yeah, we cater to the digital photographer with the strobes. We cater to the digital videographer with the continuous lights, and then we cater to film photographers with both. Depending on what they have. So and that's one big thing over the last week or two since our last podcast. That's been a big development here. Is all of our lighting equipment has arrived.
Yes, it's finally all here, and it's great, man. We've got way more modifiers than we need.
It's ridiculous,
and I'm really excited to even put the that what's it called, the Spotlight Gobo.
Yeah.
Lindsay Adler Westcott thing.
Yeah, the optical spot.
There we go.
Which shout out to Michaela from Cobalt Studios. She introduced us to that.
She really did.
And when we came here, we saw so many possibilities for that being used in this space that we just had to get one.
Exactly, and we thought about getting this Amaran one.
Yeah.
But it turns out that like it can only take a certain amount of heat.
Yeah.
And with the continuous lighting.
Yeah, it's made of plastic.
And we were like, nah, we gotta, the one that Michaela has, the one that Cobalt Studios has is like perfect.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting that one, and
we haven't even cracked it open yet.
Not yet, man. No. Which by the way, one of the features at our studio is at New Wave Studio. We've modified everything, or at least the Pro Photo lights, to take Bowen's mount.
Yes.
Because we thought you should be able to use, this lantern that we're using now. You probably can't see it. Maybe in that wider shot.
I don't think you can in the wide shot. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But any modifier that you see, really anything, you can mix and match with any lights.
Well, and the nice thing about having the ability to put Bowen's modifiers on Pro Photo lights is that people can bring their own modifiers too.
Exactly, yeah.
There's any studio you go to, probably there's going to be something they might not have that you might want. And if you own it, you want to use their strobes, bring your own. Like we've got the ability to take Pro Photo modifiers or Bowen, anything that's Bowen's mount, which is most
exactly,
things.
Yeah. And there's more accessories as well. So down the line, we could probably have more things.
Yeah. So should we talk a little bit about what we've got?
Yeah. So I'll name a couple things, and then you jump in and name other stuff.
Yeah.
But
why don't you name the top 3 things you're excited about, and I'll name the top 3 things I'm excited about, and then we'll leave the rest of it to mystery.
Perfect. So the top 3 things I'm excited about, equipment-wise. Well, one of them is for sure the continuous lighting. That's one of them. Now, I'm not going to get into detail because there's some pretty fun things we could do with some of the lightings, but lighting continuously is one of my top favorite things I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
The second thing is being able to build sets in here. Like, we've got the 2 movable walls. Now, they're just walls now, but when it, I don't know, Christmas time, it doesn't even have to be a holiday.
Right.
It can be literally anything that we want to put together. Like, hey, next week we're going to do out of the box themed. Like, come, to our studio. We build some sort of set. Like, I've always sent you these TikTok things, and I'm like, hey, this would be cool. Hey, this would be cool.
Yeah, there's all kinds of really cool ideas, and now we have a space to do that.
Yeah, and so like being able to do that and putting things together for the community to come check it out, join, let's shoot together kind of thing. That's my top second thing, I would say. And then the third thing, I say it's just having a workspace in general.
Yeah.
I think since having this place, It's definitely felt like work.
Right.
And I don't have to take the work home.
Yeah.
Which is a plus, but also it kind of sucks. Like at one time I was like, oh, I forgot the computer at home. I could have just been doing this. But it's like, it's work.
You just got to get used to that.
I got to get used to that, you know?
Well, that's cool.
So you tell me about your top 3.
I think one of the things I'm most excited about is this key light we're using right now. This setup that we've got in here at this moment. I think this is one of the coolest lighting setups we've ever done. Right now we're using 1, 2, 3, 4 different lights.
Yeah.
5 if you count the lamp.
6 if you count the New Wave logo.
6 if you count that sick freaking neon above your head. But yeah, we're lit right now by Amaran.
It's
Aperture 600D.
Yeah.
With an Aperture lantern on it, and it just makes this like super soft, beautiful light.
We don't have to have 2 light sources, one at you and one at
traditionally, the way we used to have it set up was we would have an Amaran 100D with an Octobox with a grid on you, and then the same thing opposite on me. And now we have one key light, and then we have like a wand light behind you for your hair light.
Hair light.
We have
hair light for you as well.
Yeah, we have
Amaran 150C.
150C behind me for a hair light, RGB, and to show you the RGB over in the office space over there. We have the same light that's on my head, but it's green and it's over there pointed at the wall, so that looks different. And yeah, it's just like, it's really cool to have. I mean, I was telling you last night, because we came in here last night and we got all this all set up and dialed in so that we could just come in this morning and podcast.
You're right.
And last night when we finished, I looked at you and I was like, George, we have no business. Like, we have no business with this setup.
Why does it have to look this good? Or at least we're trying to make it look really good. Like, we don't have a business doing any of that.
No, this is, I mean, the level of like production and equipment that we're using for this right now is like, this is not a beginner podcast, and we are totally beginner podcasters.
Absolutely.
So it's just,
we haven't even dialed in the
audio.
Whole
yeah,
audio.
We send our audio out to my cousin, who's a sound engineer, to get it.
He fixes it for us, and here we are.
Which is great. I mean,
shout out to Zeb.
Shout out to Zeb. It's a blessing to have him, helping us out with that. But it's just crazy, man. It's wild to look around at what we've got in front of us, and like, it's just. We're so fortunate to be able to do this.
We thought we had a good setup at my house.
We did have a good setup at your house.
We did, you're right. But compared to this, I mean, I haven't seen the footage yet. We haven't edited this, but just based on what we're doing. This is also the
first time we're shooting the podcast in log.
So color corrected.
We're going to have to color grade it, and it should be real.
Man, I'm excited for
crispy.
That. This is also the first time I'm shooting in C-Log 3.
Yeah,
I normally always shoot C-Log 2.
See, I was watching something last night that said that C-Log 2 is Canon's like unequivocal like best log profile. So I'm interested to see.
So the way I know about C-Log 2 and 3 differences are C-Log 2. Whoa, this microphone's in my face. C-Log 2 is more like run and gun. You're outdoors. You're at a wedding. There's bright highlights and darker shadows. That is what C-Log 2 is. C-Log 3 is more of like contained lighting. Like you have dialed in your highlights. You have dialed in your shadows. And which is what we're doing here. So I think it's going to go well. But C-Log 3 gives you, to my knowledge, better dynamic range.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
You could be.
But C-Log 3 is like the more crispier, better log.
Okay.
But C-Log 2 is preferred because you have the ability to like...
It's got a little more range.
Yeah, it's got more range for sure.
Interesting. Well, it'll be cool to check it out.
The base ISO for C-Log 2 is 400. The base ISO for C-Log 3 is 800.
I thought every time we've shot log on the...
It's C-Log 2?
C70, it's
800?
Yeah, it's 800.
You know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
It could be just regular C-Log then is 400.
Maybe.
Because my Canon, where's it at? The R5 has C-Log. There's 3 C-Logs. C-Log, C-Log 2, and C-Log 3. C-Log must be 400 then.
Okay.
C-Log 2 is 800, which is what we shoot on the C70.
Yeah.
And then 3 is also 800.
Well, and we're shooting C-Log 3 on all 3 cameras because my camera only has C-Log 3.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, so... Oh, yeah, that's why we're doing C-Log 3s, because yours had C-Log 3. Plus, at the end of the day, like, this is pretty contained. We're not getting the sun moving around.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how good this looks.
Yeah.
You know? I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was, as always, we went on a little tangent, but yeah, it's just, it's incredible to be sitting here and using all of this equipment and to be in front of like my camera right here. I feel so fortunate to have this and like the other two. We have 3 angles. Like what do you need 3 angles for? Exactly. It's just so overkill, but it's so cool.
I mean, we could have 2 other people on this podcast.
Yeah, you know? Easy. Well, and we just got another mic. We are officially on the same mic again.
Officially on the same mic,
which is exciting. And so we have an extra mic over there, so we could have one more person, and then eventually we'll get more, and we can have more people. And,
yeah, I agree.
But we've got room in here for at least 2 more. I mean, we could use this as a seat too if we needed. We're going to buy more seating. Like,
yeah,
maybe we'll have 12 people on the podcast.
So here's what we could do. You have dinner plans like around 4 or 5. You said,
yeah.
So why don't we go to Profoto to drop off the camera lens?
Yeah, I have a rental that I need to return,
and then we just go thrifting for a little bit.
Sure.
Just to see what else we can get. I would. So soft opening is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I know we're making plans on the podcast, but
it's crazy.
It is what it is.
We're making these plans outside the podcast too.
The plan is going to be to pretend soft opening is next week.
Okay.
I think that would really kind of get our priorities higher. Mm-hmm. But there's that wiggle room of like, well, technically there's still 1 more week.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I just see like that way is kind of...
It's kind of fun to kind of talk about this on the podcast too, because it's almost like, you know, we're giving people a look into what doing this looks like, right?
Yeah.
Like we've never done this before. Mm-hmm. There's already so many aspects of setting up a brick and mortar business that we were not prepared for and are just kind of, you know, figuring out as we go. But, it's been a ride, and we're almost to the first like plateau of that ride, which will be the soft opening when everything is, 90% of things are dialed. And we're ready to start having people. Kind of be the
last. Yep.
Yeah. Psych wall will be end of August, hopefully. And you know, it's exciting to be getting to that point. It's crazy that it's come this quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I remember right before I went to Mexico, I was saying things like, yeah, I'm not really sure this is going to happen. Like, it's been taking forever. Like, they are asking for this, they're asking for that. Mm-hmm. You know, if anything, like, the day we were supposed to get this studio, I had projected July 15th.
Right.
Ish. You know, that's like a ish.
That would have been 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Well, actually, your prediction was July 17th because it was
that's on a Monday.
So it would have been today.
It would have been today.
Yeah.
We would have had keys today. And everything as far as we've gotten in the last 2 weeks, because I've only been back for 2 weeks?
Yeah. 2 weeks to the day.
Literally 2 weeks to the day. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
It feels way longer.
It's 2 weeks to the day, and we've got backdrops hung. We've got 9 lights that have come in. We've got modifiers for almost all of those lights. We've got C-stands. We've got our desks here.
I've built 2 different walls.
We have 2 walls that we've painted one side of already. Mm-hmm. We have the green wall up. We have the neon up. We have the makeup stations built. We have the vanities built. We have our podcast set built.
Dude.
Like, we have done so much in the span of 2 weeks. And in that time, we've shot 4 or 5 weddings between the two of us.
Just this weekend, I did back-to-back weddings. And I know you were doing back-to-back weddings right before I went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And man, I loved the weddings, but man, do I hate the travel in betwyn.
Yeah, man.
And the not so much
especially
resting.
on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
I mean, you had...
So I went to, it was like an hour, Yamhill, what's it called?
Wilhelmina.
And that was like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Which is easy drive, that's fine, but I was tired from working at the studio.
Of course.
Then I went to the wedding, did a whole 8 hours, drove back home, got home like at 11, went to bed at midnight, woke up like at 7, came to the studio to get a couple things done. So I had to leave to Bend, Oregon around 8 to 8:30.
Yeah.
Drove for 3 hours, got there in time to stop at a yard sale or two, and then showed up at the wedding. Did that for 8.5 hours. Drove immediately back 3 hours later, and boy, was I exhausted.
I bet. Saturday I had a wedding that was only an hour and a half away. It was 8 hours long, but Saturday it was 95 degrees. Oof. And the entirety of my wedding was outdoor. So I was, what?
I said, oof. And this thing went,
yeah. My whole wedding was outdoors. And not only was it outdoors and we were in the sun the whole time, but for whatever reason, and I don't understand insects and I don't understand,
I saw that.
Those things. Me, but like there was literally thousands of ladybugs flying around at this venue. Thousands of them.
Okay, so
it was insane.
It's got to be a thing because almost every single wedding, without a doubt, there's always bugs underneath the dress, in between the two layers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. Well,
so it has to do something with the material.
Dress, she didn't have anything. She had just like a really, really simple single layer.
Oh, I see.
Dress,
yeah.
But it was like just walking around. We were walking through swarms.
Oh, I thought it was only in that little area.
No, it was everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere at this venue.
That's crazy.
It was insane. But it was fine. Like it's not like they're not aggressive or anything. Yeah. It's just weird. And if you don't like bugs, like the photographer, I was filming this wedding. And so the photographer that was there, who was, you want to talk about a long drive, that photographer was from Everett, Washington, which is about an hour north of Seattle.
Dang.
She had to drive back that night. But the photographer, while we were doing family formals, freaking inhaled one of those ladybugs.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was rough.
Like when you were riding a bike and you're like, a mosquito or something just like gets in your mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that wedding was really cool too.
This is the waterfall one?
Yeah. So it was at Silver Falls, which is one of probably maybe even the most popular public waterfall trail situation in the state of Oregon. But we went down to one of I was stressing. You remember, I was stressing for like 2 weeks about this wedding because I was like, bro, I have to hike. I'm going to have to hike to this waterfall with all of this gear. And I am not an athlete, not particularly in great shape. So I was a little bit stressed about it, but the hike we did was like, calling it a hike is a joke. It was a walk. It was just a leisurely, maybe quarter mile. Yeah, it was not hiking at all.
So I've been to Silver Falls, but I've been to the one where you can go behind the water.
The Trail of 10. Trail of 10 Falls is that one. And that's not
like the last one.
I don't know.
Because if the water's coming down, it's like one of the lower.
Yeah, this one is the lowest one. Like we parked at the North Falls parking lot and we went down to get to this waterfall.
Okay.
So it was really easy to get there. But the Trail of 10 Falls is actually where the groom proposed to the bride at this wedding. So that's why we did it there.
That's a good waterfall there.
Yeah. So but yeah, we got down there and man, it's just there are some moments, especially in weddings, where you're just shooting and shooting and shooting and you're like, dude, this is amazing. Like I don't have to do anything and this is just gorgeous.
The colors are great, the cinema,
and just
the scene.
Just the scene, exactly. Like the content itself. Like this is a bride and a groom who are dressed up. They're in their best attire. They have their best look on. They're together. They're so happy. They're being intimate.
Yeah.
And they're in this like amazing scene. And you're just like, dude, this is like a photographer or a filmmaker's dream right here.
I think about that. And I'm sure like what you're saying goes with that is like, we sometimes get into these scenes or these like epic locations and we just sit there and we're like, wow, like this is my job.
Right.
And first of all, no pressure, but they're really relying on me capturing what they want.
Yeah.
The way they want.
There's plenty of pressure. There's no pressure about
well,
it.
I know it's more of a sarcastic thing. But
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, and especially like, we have both photographed tons of weddings. Like it's autopilot for the most part at this point. This is the second wedding I've ever filmed.
So you're getting flashbacks to when you first started photography.
Yeah,
like,
man.
For clients,
Absolutely.
and you're just like, oh no, I'm gonna mess it up. Blah, blah, whatever.
It's a little bit of imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm there and I'm like, am I qualified to do this? like
Yeah.
I'm running around like.
And you got another one this Saturday with me.
I have another one this Saturday with you, and I had another one the week before.
And it's a low light wedding.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, when we go to Profoto, let's go look at light panels.
Okay.
Because I meant to get one for this past wedding and I didn't.
Yeah.
So let's.
For
the wedding this past weekend. I didn't need it, luckily, but we need to look into that. But there's a little bit of imposter syndrome with it, like feeling like I'm not skilled enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not knowledgeable enough to really be doing this. But it's, I understand it fundamentally, and I understand it from like a photographic standpoint. Like I know how to compose these shots, and I know like what shots need to be had on a wedding day. And so it's just a matter of like translating that, but like learning the movements and learning how to like I did a lot of handheld shots for this wedding, which I haven't done before.
Yeah.
The last wedding that I filmed, I was 100% on the gimbal, and it was exhausting. And so this wedding, I was like, I'm going to try to handhold some stuff. I'm going to try to use the monopod for some stuff. And that stuff is okay. I think with some stabilization, a little bit of editing, like it'll be better. But and I think that's just it. It's just like learning these skills, and some of these weddings are kind of the guinea pig for some of these skills. And
in the process, it's almost a joke or like a meme in the video world, but like, you're doing the ninja walk.
Yeah.
Some of these like videos and memes, you see people holding a camera and walking on the treadmill because that's a workout.
It really is.
And you said this the other day. You were like, man, I'm exhausted. Like I was literally walking slow, tensing up all of my muscles for this.
And carrying like a 10-pound rig. Like you're holding it close to your body. Your core is tight. Your arms are tight. You're walking. You're doing the ninja walk, and like, it is a full body workout.
Just think about like a 15-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
And you're just ninja walking for 8 hours throughout. Well, it's not 8 hours straight.
Right. But it's off and on for the majority of 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the next day, like I woke up the next day and I felt like I couldn't move my legs. You know what I mean? Like they just felt like heavy logs. And I was like, I just don't want to get up. Like I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But I had to get up and come here.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how I felt when I got the 28-70.
Yeah, I bet.
Dude, when I first got that lens, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is a whole new world for me.
Yeah.
Now I'm like super used to it, and my back doesn't hurt. And,
Jesus Cristo.
Jesus Cristo. But yeah, man. What a job that we have.
It's a blessing, and it's an honor, and it's amazing that so many people trust us with the biggest day of their life. Like there's every time I leave a wedding, like I'm blown away by how I'm treated, like how appreciative, the bride, the groom, the family, the friends, everybody is of you. And it is such a privilege to have this job, to have this career, and to be able to be thriving and like growing so quickly and making it our life. Like it's an absolute blessing.
Oh man, I should be done.
I'm boring George.
No, I'm just tired, man. Anyways, I think we've done a pretty good podcast here.
Think so?
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up before we end it?
When are we going to get an HR department? Because I've got some complaints.
The HR department currently is at the original location in Milwaukee.
Oh,
yeah,
that's HR.
Yep,
that's good to know. No, man, we've got a lot to do today, and this is already longer than we probably should have done.
You really got to complain on me, huh?
No, I don't. This guy texted me this morning and said, 9 a.m., don't be late. And I was like, I'm going to be late, bro. I'm going to be like 10 minutes late.
It's funny because I was like, okay, bet. And I was just getting out of the shower.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be on time either.
I wasn't going to be on time at all.
I texted him this morning and I said, FML. And he said, what? And I was like, I'm so tired. 1 more hour. And he said, see you at 9. And I was like, come on, bro. But we did it. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
You know, it's funny because you texted me and then you were like 1 more hour. And then I was like, oh, like, yes, you're right. We have 1 more hour. See you at 9. And then when I sent that, I was like, he meant let's sleep in 1 more hour and then go.
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's, you know, I have those feelings most mornings. I wake up and I'm like, fuck, just 1 more hour.
Yeah.
But then when I do that 1 more hour, I never feel better.
I mean, think about it right now. We would barely be finishing up setting up the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and we're already almost done with it. We're gonna go to Profoto real quick. We're gonna get our day started.
We're gonna go to Profoto and get in trouble.
All right. Well, the people can now find us at newwavemediapdx.com.
Wrong. The people can now find us at newwavepdx.com.
You're right.
I know. I made it. So we do. We have. We don't have our full website up.
Yeah.
But we do have kind of a fun placeholder splash page. It's a contact page. There's a little note there from George and I. And there's a little video from one of the photo shoots we were talking about earlier. You should go check that out. Leave us a note. Leave us some feedback if you want to.
Absolutely.
And then our goal is to have the full site launched by the end of this week, which will have a homepage that'll talk about kind of everything we do. Mm-hmm. We'll have the studio page that's all about the studio, and then we'll have a page for the podcast, maybe. And then there's a couple other things on there.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a project, and
I'm excited.
I'm really proud of it so far.
I'm excited for everybody to see what's coming. And you know what? Like, at the end of the day, like, we might have this big vision, and it may not be here tomorrow, the next day, but eventually it will pay off. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited for that day to come.
Me too. We got big things ahead of us, and in order to achieve those big things, we need to go to Profoto. So we love you guys.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. As always, newwavepdx.com. Check us out on Instagram, New Wave Studios PDX, New Wave Media PDX, Waja Gone Wild, George Padilla Photography. Yep. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace out.